The idea that habit formation and neuroplasticity are interconnected is rooted in the understanding of how the brain learns, adapts, and evolves through repeated actions and thought patterns. Neuroplasticity, in its most essential form, is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This process doesn't stop in childhood. It continues into adulthood, allowing individuals to reshape their behaviors, beliefs, and even their identity over time. This has profound implications when it comes to habit formation, because it tells us that we are not fixed beings. We are not doomed to repeat unhealthy patterns forever. Rather, with intentional effort and consistency, we can train the brain to adopt new, empowering routines. When someone starts a new habit, say morning affirmations or meditation, it might initially feel awkward or unnatural. That's because the neural pathways supporting that habit are either weak or non-existent. The brain has no efficient wiring to support that behavior yet. But with repetition, the brain starts to take notice. Neurons that fire together begin to wire together. Each time the habit is performed, the related neural pathway is activated and strengthened. Over time, what once required effort becomes automatic. This is the biological essence of habit formation. Repetition strengthens the connection. Consistency makes it efficient. Now, it's important to understand that the brain is inherently energy efficient. It prefers predictable routines because they require less cognitive effort. This is why habits, once formed, are so difficult to break. Whether positive or negative, once a neural pathway is well established, the brain defaults to it with ease. The real opportunity here lies in using this natural preference for efficiency to our advantage. If we can establish positive behaviors as habits, the brain will automate them, just like it automates brushing our teeth or tying our shoes. This means that with enough repetition, things like journaling, exercising, or practicing gratitude can become effortless parts of our identity. What accelerates this process is mindful repetition. Repetition alone can help build a habit, but when it's paired with intentional focusware, we are consciously aware of what we're redoing and why it creates deeper, more lasting neural imprints. This is especially true when emotional engagement is present. For example, if someone says, "I am confident every morning," but does so mechanically, it may take longer for the brain to encode that belief. However, if they say it with conviction, visualize themselves acting with confidence, and feel the emotion tied to that belief, the neural imprint is much stronger. Emotional energy acts like glue, helping bind the thought to the neural network more securely. This is also why consistency over time is more important than intensity in the short term. Doing something small every day, like one affirmation, one push-up, or 5 minutes of deep breathing can have a more lasting impact on brain structure than an intense but irregular effort. It's the daily signals to the brain that matter. Each time we engage in a positive habit, it sends the message, "This is who I am. Over time, the brain begins to accept this identity and align other behaviors accordingly. That's the power of identity-based habits. They don't just change what we do, they change how we see ourselves. An important aspect of neuroplasticity in habit formation is the role of feedback loops. Positive reinforcement strengthens neuropathways. If we feel good after completing a habit, whether through intrinsic satisfaction or external rewards, dopamine is released. This chemical not only makes us feel pleasure, but also signals the brain that the behavior is worth repeating. This is one reason why celebrating small wins is so effective. The celebration, however small, creates a positive feedback loop that strengthens the neural association and makes it more likely we'll return to the behavior. On the other side, breaking old habits also involves neuroplasticity. It requires us to weaken or prune the existing neuroconnections associated with the old behavior. This process is known as synaptic pruning. When a behavior is no longer repeated, the associated neuropathway gradually loses its strength. The brain reallocates its resources toward the newer, more frequently used pathways. This pruning process is not instant, which is why bad habits can be so persistent. However, consistent avoidance of the old behavior paired with reinforcement of a new one allows the brain to rewire over time. Understanding all of this underscores a very empowering message. We are not stuck. The brain is not rigid. Through repeated actions and intentional thought, we can literally reshape our mental landscape. Whether it's building a morning routine, developing emotional regulation, or overcoming procrastination, the key lies in consistency, mindfulness, and emotional engagement. It also helps to understand that every time we perform a habit, we're not just doing something, we're becoming someone. Each repetition is a vote for the person we want to be. If you meditate today, you cast a vote for becoming a calm and focused person. If you journal your thoughts today, you reinforce the identity of someone who values reflection and self-awareness. These small votes, over time, accumulate into a solid identity. The brain, through neuroplasticity, begins to reflect that identity in its very structure. The power to change, then, lies not in radical transformation overnight, but in micro-decisions repeated consistently. You don't have to believe everything you tell yourself right away. But if you tell yourself every morning, I am capable, and follow that up with even small actions that reflect capability, your brain begins to internalize that message. The pathway gets built. The habit gets formed. The behavior becomes automatic. And the identity becomes real. Ultimately, habit formation through neuroplasticity isn't just about productivity or self-improvement. It's about agency. It's about recognizing that we have the ability to influence how our brain works. We are not passive recipients of mental patterns. We are active participants in shaping them. This shifts the mindset from "can I change" to "how will I train my mind today?" The process isn't always easy. There will be resistance. The brain often defaults to what it knows, even if what it knows is unhelpful. But every time you consciously choose a new behavior, you're stretching the brain's capacity. You're teaching it that new ways are possible. And with enough practice, those new ways become the norm. That's the power of neuroplasticity. That's the science behind habit formation. And that's the reason why, no matter where you start, meaningful change is always within reach, one repetition at a time.